Brothers in Arms has threw us up some fantastic battles this week in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, and we're going to kick it off today in a Lamborghini Huracan Performante. You guys will know by now, it's one of my favourite cars in game. Absolutely adore this car. And over on the Ibiza map, we've got a fantastic race, a very difficult race. Let's not beat about the bush here. It is quite a difficult race. There's a few corners on this one which will catch us out, but we're going to give it a good shot today. That race, of course, is the Ultimate Power Race, a 2-lap circuit race. It's clear, it's dry, it's a Huracan Performante against the R8s, which don't really matter because the rear-wheel drive in the Huracan absolutely dominates them. But the leaderboard, we've got a fantastic leaderboard so far. 1 minute 50s, we can see just at the top of the leaderboard here from Alchemy and Ingus. Paku with a 151, Cappy with a 152, Izores 153, 154, 155. We can see the trend here. Very quick times across this leaderboard. We can actually see 155 is the requirement to be in the top 10. Our time so far, 208. It wasn't the best of times, it was a live com. So we've got a lot of improving to do here. We've got to find, what's that, 20 seconds almost, maybe more. So we're going to give it the first shot today. We're going to come in here with the same car that we came into the first race with. 950 RP and no tune applied to this one. Now we're going to concentrate a little bit more here. Yes, we recorded the gameplay, I'm kind of talking over it. But I feel like doing that I can get a bit of a better performance here and come back in and give a valiant attempt and explain what I kind of done with these races. So the very first one here, we know we've got heavy braking zone. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of dust sitting on the road as you enter that braking zone, which we'll see on lap 2. And it does unsettle the car. But fortunately, we managed to keep it out of the barriers on lap 1 for turn number 1. Big, fast, straight section, well, with a big turn obviously, but a big, fast section there down to the roundabout. We do run over the roundabout, we do lose time taking out the shrubbery. It is unfortunate, but this is kind of going to be the benchmark for what kind of time I can set in Huracan Performante. Nice early braking zone, abuse the gearbox. The brakes need some work. Again, just to reaffirm here, we are in the stock tune for this car. I don't have a tune applied to it, just upgraded parts. Another very tricky braking zone. We can see there's a bump at the top of that hill just there. So we kind of want to brake before the bump, get the car settled and turned to the right hander to come back down here onto the freeway section, where of course we do start off lap number 2. So the benchmark lap 1 is now in the bag. As we push up to the brake zone, we can see there is dust on the road just here. And it does unsettle the car. Unfortunately, this time we do collect the barrier. We don't lose all too much time, which is fantastic. And we do start to open up the Huracan. But I can see a couple of issues with this car, with the build, with the stock tune. The gearbox doesn't feel optimal. The suspension certainly doesn't feel optimal. It feels very stiff and rigid. Now, I do like a stiff car, but I also like to know it's going to move about and be a bit forgiving, especially to some of these bumps into this braking zone right here. We can see the car, it doesn't really respond very well, and the brakes aren't really balanced all too well either. So having the tunes, like I kind of speak about many times, having the tunes applied to these is crucial to get those fast lap times. Into the right hander, we just managed to keep it off that left hand wall, and we will push forward. Apologies, cross the start finish line and see what kind of time we can set as a benchmark time here with a fairly valiant attempt in the Huracan Performante, where we can see, well, we're still not in the top 10. And it's disappointing, we're 64th with a 2 minute and 3, so we make a 5-second improvement, which is fantastic, but it's not good enough. I want to be in the top 10, and we know that a 155 is the requirement to be in the top 10. Now, what is sticking out here? Many people have a max upgraded car. We're at 950 RP, and we can see that 1024 is kind of where a lot of people are. Yes, there's some outliers, 957, 974, and of course a 950 up there in second place. We're going to talk about those first 2 places a little later in today's video, so stick around for that one. But what I'm going to do is head on over to the workshop. I'm going to stick on all of the race spec parts, turbos, exhaust, everything, you name it, anti-lag turbo that would be, race spec brakes, obviously they weren't the best on that outing, the long gearbox, race chassis, race aero, slick tyres, and of course the race ECU, and we'll head back in with a tune applied to this one. I've not shared the tune of course, but with the tune applied, with all the upgraded parts, launching off the line so much quicker this time out. Already we feel so much quicker. It shouldn't be a surprise. We've got a tune, we've got upgraded parts, but will we stop any better this time out? Yes, we most certainly do. brakes are 10 times better this time out. So having the best parts, having a good tune applied to your car is going to be crucial for these races. Coming down this right-hander already feels like we're carrying so much more speed, managing to avoid the roundabout and the bushes on the right-hand side. Carrying so much more speed already. It feels like we're making a great improvement. Into the first tricky braking zone again, abusing that gearbox battering all the way down it, come back up into third gear, come around the right-hander, then we can get set up for this next tricky braking zone. Once again, we have this little crest right there, and we do catch air, so prepare for that crest, get set up for the right-hander, come back down onto the freeway section. Once again, we'll push forward to that start-finish line, but already it feels like we've made a huge improvement by, no surprise, upgrading the car and applying our tune. Can we get a better braking zone this time out? Of course, we have got that dust right there. Ooh, we do get a better braking zone. Unfortunately, we do just clip the barrier at the end there, but it doesn't feel like we lost all too much time. We did unfortunately lock up, but it feels like it was a good enough attempt, making up enough time as we come down that big fast right-hander once again. Can we avoid the roundabout? Of course we do, and we of course avoid the shrubbery on the right-hand side, back around the right-hander into the left-hander. Again, we want to prepare for that braking zone, locking up right down the gearbox, taking a little bit of curb that time. Maybe not the cleanest of attempt, but we do come out of it in third gear, push back up the hill once again. Feels like we've made so much time over the crest. Get ready, round into the right-hander. We go a little bit wider that time out, but we carry a lot of speed around it. Back onto the freeway section, back over to cross that start-finish line. One more time, and what kind of improvement can we make? It feels like we're going to make a big improvement this time out, and of course we do make a huge improvement. 1 minute 54, trimming off around about 14 seconds up to 7th place on the leaderboard. Now, I do feel there's a couple of seconds left in that one, but it's going to be a big attempt, a big effort to get up to those high-ranking 152s, 151s and 150s. I do think it is possible, but 150 feels a big stretch. 4.7 seconds almost. I feel that's a bit much to try and catch. Now, Paku, we know we've raced many times before, a very clean racer in this game with a 151.7. I think, 3 seconds is probably a fair time to trim off of what I just done there. But the 150 times are bugging me. And where are the times coming from? Is something ugly rearing its head once again in the game? We're going to go here one last time. We're not going to do the full race. We're going to skip through it. And unfortunately, something ugly has reared its head once again. Now, apparently, this has never went away from Ibiza. It's not something I knew until I had a little look over the weekend. But coming into turn 1, we don't brake. Wall riding is back. Full force into the walls, over to lap number 2. Full force. I don't think I've ever hit a wall harder in my life and came out of it in a better situation. But wall riding is back in the game. We knew it was going to be back with the bit of the buffer that they did to the nerf. What kind of time do we manage to set with the wall riding actually going from us? A 151.9. So we do save around about 3 seconds or so with the wall riding being there. Now, I'm not going to claim a 4th place on the leaderboard. I don't see that as a true time. If you're wall riding and that's the way you want to race, that's perfectly fine. I'm not accusing anybody of doing so, just to be clear. But it takes something away from the game for me. I don't like it. For me, I came 7th. I was behind Misha with my time. But it is just kind of there to demonstrate that wall riding does appear to be back in the game. Maybe just on that one specific race. You guys can let me know if you've found it elsewhere. I don't want that to be the case. I don't like wall riding. A lot of these guys on the leaderboard have spent a lot of time to get the times they have set, only for some people perhaps to have wall ridden and got those better times, a false time essentially on the leaderboards. It's not for me, and I don't want to be here moaning about it. It is what it is. If that's the way you want to ride, that's perfectly fine. It's just not for me. You guys play the game exactly how you want to play it, but I just kind of wanted to highlight in that race specifically that it feels like wall riding may be back to a certain extent in Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Now, is it a bit of a cancer? Is it going to cast a shadow over the game? Maybe, maybe not. There's obviously other issues with the game that I'm not going to get into. I don't think it warrants it in, or merits it in this video particularly. I wanted to highlight more the fact that we had a fantastic race there in the Huracan Performante. Now, yes, it should have been against the 4-wheel drive Audi R8s. I don't think there's any disputing that one. I don't know why it wasn't included. Why it was just the rear-wheel drive R8s makes no sense, considering the Huracan Performante is of course a 4-wheel drive vehicle. But what it did give to us is what I love in the game, a challenge. Go back, rinse and repeat the race multiple times to try and get my fastest time that I could possibly achieve at that given time in that car, and that's exactly what I just did there before the wall riding incident, shall we say. So again, the weekly live events coming up trumps. Love what's happening with these, and now the new dynamic that we've had for the past few weeks of X versus Y, it is what I want to see. I think that's what the concept of this game needs, is the X versus Y challenges. This week, of course, this race particular was the Huracan Evo versus the Audi R8. We obviously had a few weeks of that now, and I hope to see more of that. And of course, tomorrow's video is likely going to be more of the same, just not in these cars. So of course, stay tuned tomorrow for that update. But yeah, kind of just to gloss over the wall riding side of things, another fantastic event, another fantastic selection of races that we got this week. My chosen car for that race, of course, was a Huracan Performante, which I imagine many people's choice would have been the same. As always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for more updates on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.